BassResinator here. What is this? Well, it is a homemade mold of a creature. I've been looking for a really good sample of this creature, like a figurine or something, and I finally was able to find one, and I had to make my own mold. When I grew up, we call these horny toads. They grow all over the Southwest. They're kind of endangered in certain areas. But I wanted to do this creature justice. It's so many cool things about it. You'll see a picture of it on the screen right now. This is the Texas horny toad. Okay, now I've got different colors here of mica powders. These are all Let's Resin mica powders, different colors. Depending on where you find this creature, he will adapt, sort of. He's not a chameleon, but he can blend in with his surroundings. Can be kind of a brownish with some spots, or maybe even gray with spots. And then on his horns, and they are some serious horns, and that's why when I made this mold, I actually had to cut it to get the horns out because they're growing backwards. And yeah, so I've already started, and I put some of this mica. I used the bronze mica for the deepest horns. And then I'm just going to sort of play around, poking different colors in different spots. I've got yellow, I've got coffee, I've got black, and I've got pearl gold. Like I said, depending on where you find him will depend on what kind of colors you're going to see. Now, all of these things, if you remember that picture I just showed you, there's scales and horns all over the place. So I'm trying to just do this somewhat justice. If you see red down in here, that is because I had some leftover reddish colored silicone, because this is a heavy piece. So for any of you mold makers, professional mold makers like Into Resin or Let's Resin, if you want to make one of these and make it with less silicone, help me out now. Because they would probably have it just the shape of his body, not this chunk. I've got a brick here. So if you want to do that, that would be really cool. Because as far as I know, there are no good molds of this creature. And so I'm trying to give it a good go here. And man, there's so many little spikes and knobs and stuff. Some people call these horned frogs, horned toads, the university that has it as a mascot call it the horned frogs. Well, we call them toads. They are neither frogs nor toads. They are reptiles. And frogs and toads are amphibians. So, a little lesson there. Okay, now I'm almost tempted to pour in the head first and make sure that those horns get, I don't know how I'm going to pour this yet, but still thinking about it. Okay, so the markings. I'm going to put some black here. Now these creatures, as one of their self-preserving traits, when they're being attacked by something bigger than them, coyote or something, they will flatten their bodies out. And if a dog or, a coyote or something like that gets their mouth on it, they can't do much because that's kind of hard to swallow when you got a wide body creature. If that doesn't deter it enough, and now I have never seen this other than in like National Geographic shows, they can spit blood out of their eyes. Yeah. Watch it. Watch out. I mean, that's some funky stuff going on there. Okay. Trying to get the darker colors to blend. I mean, I got the black, and now I'm going with the coffee around the black. And then I'm going to come back with some lighter colors. Actually, down in his head, I want a little bit of black down in there. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. This is, his head is way down deep. I will definitely color his eyes later after I get them out. There's no way I'm going to be able to have access to it now. So even though this is a very bright yellow, I'm not going to be able to see that so much. Okay, now there we're going with kind of the colors that you'll see in nature. A little bit of this gold in there. Mm-hmm. Now you're cooking with gas. And for any areas that I don't get covered, I'm going to mix in the resin. I'm going to mix in a little bit of this coffee with a little bit of the gold. So it won't be quite so brown and it won't be quite so gold. I thought it was really funny, the figurine that I found in a store in Texas. It says Texas horned lizard, not even a horned frog or a horned toad. And I pull it out and I'm like, yeah, that's the one I want. And then I turn it over and it says made in China. And I'm like, how can it be made in China? It's a Texas thing. Anyway. Mix and match these colors. Now under his chin, it's going to be this lighter color. And when I go to pull this out, you should turn your volume up because it's probably going to go just like that. Because there are so many spikes and horns and everything else. I mean, there's a reason they call it a horny toad or a horned frog or a horned lizard. Yep. I did find one thing on the original, and I'm not showing you the original. It's okay, but it's what I'm not showing you is they colored its toenails pink. I have never, and I have seen, and I've actually played with horny toads. Even the little babies are just little tiny things. Um, they don't have pink toenails. There's a dog hair right there. No pink on that at all. So I'm not using pink. But there are some people that have lived in Texas and they have never seen one of these. And I'm like, how? And then I'm thinking, these people don't get out. And that's usually what it is. I used to go, oh man, when I was a kid, I'd go spelunking. I would go, well, there hardly anything on TV. So I didn't worry about missing a show on TV. We didn't have cable, and our TV was black and white. So for all you youngins, yeah, life was different. But I would hang out outside all the time. Don't play with snakes, but I could identify them. I could figure out which ones were poisonous and which ones were not. And yeah, I was always outside. I'd even catch little ground squirrels and put them in my pocket and bring them home, trying to keep them as a pet. And my parents wouldn't let me. How mean, huh? I get the colors just right in here. Okay, that's pretty close. Let me mix up some resin. I'll be right back. Okay, I want you to look at the texture of that skin. It's very rough and rugged. And if you can see down in his head area, scales all over the place. This was a very, like I said, I've seen figurines before and they're always smooth. I mean, they got little bumps on the back, but nothing like what I know as the original. Okay, now I do, because of the cut that I made here, I will have a rubber band to grasp around that. But what I want to do first is get some of this resin down in there and try and make sure I get it up into the horns. I'm using Bondcrafter art resin, the 1-to-1. It's not super deep other than where it goes down to his head, because his head is I'm doing it. You can't see what I'm doing. I've moved my head way back. It's like he's holding his head up off the ground, which they do regularly. Oh, these guys, just to tell you about them, we always like them because they eat ants. And they can go through a bunch of them. And they're so thick that the ants can't, I mean, they can climb on them and stuff, but they don't get through. And their stingers don't have any effect on them. So we always thought they were super cool. Okay, now that's not gonna. Use my little tool here to poke down into those because they're deep. I mean, they're half an inch long. They make somebody not have a good time trying to swallow them. Hopefully, I have gotten down in there sufficiently, because I don't know how in the world. Well, I guess I could fashion some. Don't really want to do that. Okay. Don't want to try and make some with UV resin. Let me go along his back with that tool to try and make sure all those little spikies on his back are without air bubbles. No, want them air bubbles in there. Look, there came one up. Maybe if I poke some of this in these holes now, you know, the rule, resin goes where it's been before. So let's just hope that works. When talking about these spiky things too. Okay. I hope this comes out cool. That would be so nice. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your lizard. Shake the toad. Bum, bum, bum. Bum. Somebody, one of my subscribers said, "Hey, you know, you're changing the words to a lot of songs." I do that all the time. Whatever is happening around me will determine on what words I use in the song. Now I mixed up 5 ounces. The original thing is made out of some type of resin. Oh, that's not good. That rubber band is right on, is touching some of that resin. I don't want that, because then we'll have this. There we go. I don't know what type of resin it was or anything, but it weighed 4.6 ounces. So I mixed up 5 ounces. Put a little bit more in. And I think I need to do my little thing, which this side always seems to be, even though the table is level, this side always seems to be a scotch lower. So now, look at this. Now I watched an expert mold maker talk about when you cut into the mold like I did, don't just cut it straight. Cut at a zigzag and it'll hold together better and it'll have less leakage. Because I have had a mold where it was cut straight, not that one that I had done. It was just the way it came from the place. Hey. Okay, now. You know what I can do? And you're like, no, what can you do? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put something up. Put something up. Hold it a little higher. Ah, not high enough. Well, okay. Not that then. How about my dotting tool? There, look at there. Up higher. Now that resin that came squirting out because it was going along the edge of that rubber band can go back where it belongs, in the mold. In the mold, you can sail the 7 seas. In the mold. Like I said, make up the words as you go. Tell your story. Okay, now it's just a matter of waiting for this to cure up. And cross your fingers, cross your toes that we have a wonderful horny toad. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. It's the next day and it's cured up. Get this. That resin that got on there, cured on there and made the rubber band not flexible right there. What's going on? There, got that off. Now, I did have a little bit that came over because of that rubber band. And let's try and give this a lizard cure, not a pedicure. All because of that rubber band. Okay. Now, listen up. See if you can hear the sound of the druzy. Oh, I got some extra stuff going on there too. Wouldn't you know it, my microphone battery died right when the making of that sound was going. And it sounded so cool. Now, I'm glad I had these gloves on because his back, those little things were so sharp. But this is why I had to cut the front of that mold so that I could get his head out. There was no way possible, because those horns grow back against the body, and there was no way to get it out. So I had to make that cut. But okay, I'm not gonna let you see the front yet. He's got a whole bunch of little things hanging over the edge because my mold making I had used some saran wrap to help try and save space, and it left little textured edges all the way around it, and the little overpour went into those little pain in the rear. Anyway, I had to go around and cut all of these things off. So I'm not turning it over. I haven't even seen the other side yet. You saw me take it out. I haven't looked at it. Okay. I think we're there. Yes. Oh, I think I got the color spot on. Except there are a couple of those little spines on his back that had air bubbles in them from too much mica powder. So I'm going to have to fill those in with some UV resin. And I'm going to use my black UV resin and color it. Now for the eyes, I'm just going to leave it black, but to fill in those little spikes, I'm going to use some of the powder that I used to color him to begin with, so that it'll look about the same color. So you'll see that shortly. And I'm just going around making sure everything's all trimmed up nice and neat, and there's a little bit more. And what I was saying with the microphone that went dead is what I missed right here, I'll take care of with my Dremel outside. And I'm not going to show you how I do that, because I'd have to take my whole camera setup outside, and that's no fun. Okay, so here's the black UV resin. This is what I'm going to use for his eyes right now. And this is from Counterculture DIY. If you can find the black UV resin, good luck, because it sells out almost all the time, because it's so good. And they also have a white one, and but it cures quickly, it cures hard, and it is opaque, so you have to do it in layers. But man, this really comes out looking like it's supposed to. Yeah, there you go, subscribers. Thank you for subscribing as I'm watching. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And when you do, make sure you click that little bell next to the subscribe button, and anytime I do something new, then you will get notified. And in just a little bit, I'll talk about my channel memberships, but I want to show you, I'm having to do a couple layers of that black so that it gets really nice and opaque. When I do the shots at the end, the glamour shots, if you want to call it that, I'll zoom in close to the eyes. I'll bring him up closer to the screen, to the camera real quick. But you'll see what I'm talking about. There you see those. That's what they look like in real life. There was one little spot right at the front of this guy's eye that didn't look quite right to me, so wanted to make sure it looks right. But anyway, yeah. So I'll finish this guy with the Dremel and go over those little spots with some UV resin. But there are channel memberships available if you want to help support this channel. There's two levels, Blue Bonnet level and the Indian paintbrush level. Anything you do to support that with those channel memberships goes to support this channel. So anything you can do to help, I would appreciate it. Look at this. Oh man. This is after I've already cleaned them all up. Yeah. Man, he looks good. Really good. Okay. We'll see you for the next one. Thank you.